This child is still lacking infant development is horrible. And apparently he's still drinking out of a bottle. But to know that this
The situation surrounding Chrisean Rose Johnson, known as Cash Rock, and her son, Crone Rose Johnson Jr., has stirred intense debate and heartbreak across social media, exposing a troubling narrative about maternal responsibility, the consequences of choices during pregnancy, and the complexities of accountability. The public's concern centers on Crone Jr.'s developmental delays, which have been evident to observers for some time. At nearly 2 years old, the child reportedly struggles with basic milestones, sitting up, walking, or grasping objects without assistance. Reports indicate he still relies on a bottle, a detail that has fueled speculation about his health. The outcry isn't just about Crone Jr.'s condition, but the belief that Chrisean's actions during pregnancy, drinking heavily, smoking, and engaging in constant conflict, may have contributed to his struggles. For many, this situation is a painful reminder of how a mother's choices can shape a child's life, leaving Crone Jr. to face lifelong challenges. Chrisean's pregnancy was highly publicized, largely because she shared much of it on social media platforms like Instagram. Fans and followers watched her navigate a tumultuous period marked by heavy drinking, smoking, and dramatic confrontations, often involving her relationship with rapper Blueface. These behaviors, coupled with her decision to continue her lifestyle despite being pregnant, raised red flags for many observers. The public's concern grew when Chrisean, 5 months into her pregnancy, reportedly cried during an ultrasound after learning she was too far along to terminate the pregnancy. This moment, captured and shared online, struck a chord with viewers who saw it as a sign of her ambivalence about motherhood. For her first child, the expectation might have been greater care, but Chrisean's actions suggested otherwise, leading to accusations that she prioritized her personal life over her unborn son's well-being. When Crone Jr. was born, medical professionals reportedly flagged potential health issues, recommending treatments like surgeries and steroid injections to support his development. However, Chrisean's response to these concerns has been a point of contention. For months, she allegedly denied that her son needed special assistance, dismissing suggestions from fans and even those close to her who noticed he wasn't meeting typical developmental milestones. Observers pointed out that Crone Jr. couldn't sit up independently, lacked head movement, and showed no hand-eye coordination, skills most children his age begin to master. His high-pitched cry, described by some as resembling a distressed animal, further alarmed viewers during Chrisean's Instagram live sessions. These cries, heard while she defended personal choices like getting a tattoo of Blueface's face, prompted fans to urge her to seek medical attention for her son. Yet Chrisean brushed off the concerns, framing them as attacks from haters trying to dim her joy as a new mother. The comparisons to other children, particularly Halo, a nearly 2-year-old who has captured the internet's affection, intensified the scrutiny. Halo's ability to meet developmental milestones stood in stark contrast to Crone Jr.'s struggles, making the latter's delays more apparent. Fans who watched Chrisean's live broadcasts, where Crone Jr. was often nearby, began cataloging signs they believed pointed to serious health issues. They noted physical traits like small eyes with folds at the corners, large low-set ears, a flat midface, and a small head. Features some online sources associate with fetal alcohol syndrome. The high-pitched cry, they learned, could indicate alcohol withdrawal in infants. Another concerning observation was the white reflection in Crone Jr.'s pupils in photos, a potential sign of vision problems, which might explain why he didn't reach for objects unless they were placed directly in front of him. These details, pieced together by concerned followers, painted a troubling picture of a child whose needs were not being adequately addressed. Despite the mounting evidence, Chrisean remained defiant, insisting her son was fine and accusing critics of projecting negativity onto him. She posted videos of herself with Crone Jr., emphasizing their bond and rejecting claims about his health. In one instance, she declared, "Y'all don't know nothing about God. Y'all don't know nothing about nothing. I rebuke everything y'all saying about my child." Her defensiveness, however, did little to quell the concerns. Fans continue to point to her behavior during pregnancy, partying, drinking, and smoking as likely contributors to her son's condition. The fact that she broadcasted much of this behavior on social media made it impossible for her to escape accountability in the public's eyes. The backlash grew so intense that Chrisean eventually reduced her son's online presence, citing a desire to protect his privacy. Many, however, saw this as an attempt to dodge criticism rather than a genuine effort to shield her child. Recently, there have been signs that Chrisean may be grappling with the reality of her son's condition. She has reportedly turned to faith, attending church more frequently and bringing Crohn Jr. along. These outings have provided rare glimpses of the child, but fans have noted little improvement in his development. At nearly 2, he still appears far behind his peers, reinforcing the belief that his health issues have not been adequately addressed. Chrisean's increased church attendance suggests she may be seeking guidance or solace, possibly wrestling with guilt over her role in her son's struggles. Sources claim she's been struggling emotionally, unable to fully accept that her actions during pregnancy may have caused harm. This internal conflict has reportedly led her to reach out to Blueface's mother, Clarissa, and his other co-parent, Jaden Alexis, in an effort to build a support system for Crohn Jr. Chrisean's relationship with Clarissa and Jaden has been strained, particularly because her pregnancy overlapped with Jaden's relationship with Blueface. The drama surrounding this dynamic played out publicly, adding to the chaos of Chrisean's pregnancy. Now, however, she appears to recognize the importance of family for her son's well-being. She has publicly apologized to both women, expressing a desire for Crohn Jr. to connect with his siblings and have a sense of belonging. In one emotional statement, she said, "I'm sorry, Clarissa. I'm sorry, Jaden. I just care about my son, and I know he'll thrive better with his siblings." She even extended an invitation for Clarissa to spend time with Crohn Jr., signaling a willingness to set aside past conflicts. This shift suggests Chrisean is beginning to prioritize her son's needs, though some argue it's too little too late. Despite these efforts, Chrisean's refusal to publicly acknowledge her role in Crohn Jr.'s condition remains a sticking point for critics. Many believe she had Crohn Jr. to solidify her connection to Blueface, a claim fueled by her behavior during and after the pregnancy. From missing recommended medical appointments to seemingly neglecting her son's treatment, Chrisean's actions have led some to question her commitment to motherhood. Comments like, "She don't give a F about that baby," and calls for her to face humble hockey sticks reflect the depth of public frustration. Fans argue that her denial, not just of her son's needs, but of her own responsibility, has delayed critical interventions that could have improved Crohn Jr.'s quality of life. The medical perspective adds another layer of complexity. Fetal alcohol syndrome, if present, can cause lifelong physical, cognitive, and behavioral challenges. The physical traits observers have noted in Crohn Jr. align with descriptions of the condition, though no official diagnosis has been confirmed publicly. The high-pitched cry and vision issues, if related to alcohol exposure, would require early intervention to mitigate their impact. Surgeries and steroid injections, recommended at birth, could have addressed some developmental delays, but Chrisean's alleged inaction has likely compounded the challenges her son faces. For a child approaching 2, the absence of walking, talking, or basic motor skills is a significant red flag, one that medical professionals would likely view as urgent. Public sentiment is divided. Some sympathize with Chrisean, acknowledging that guilt and shame may be driving her denial. They point to her recent efforts, church apologies, and outreach to Blueface's family as signs she's trying to make amends. Others, however, argue that her refusal to take accountability publicly undermines her sincerity. They believe a public acknowledgement of her mistakes would not only validate Crohn Jr.'s struggles but also raise awareness about the dangers of substance use during pregnancy. The fact that Chrisean continues to frame criticism as hate rather than concern frustrates those who want to see her prioritize her son's health over her pride. The broader context of Chrisean's story touches on issues of celebrity culture, social media, and personal responsibility. By sharing her life so openly, she invited scrutiny, but her defensiveness suggests she wasn't prepared for the consequences. The internet, while often harsh, has also served as a platform for concerned voices to advocate for Crohn Jr., pushing Chrisean to confront realities she might have otherwise ignored. Yet the question remains, will she ever fully own her role in her son's condition? For many, the answer hinges on whether she can move beyond denial and take concrete steps to secure the medical and emotional support Crone Jr. needs.